So, hi everyone, my name is Muhammad Iqbal Salman Al-Farisi with the student number 123241002 and my partner.
My name is Abi Bagus Setiawan, student number 123241014.
So, we are going to present about the scoping review of a research article that titled An Analysis of Slang Words Used in Social Media by Siti Prastiwi and Siti Aisyah from STKIP PGRI Sidoarjo. So, before we go into the analysis, let me provide a brief summary of the study. This research, published in Journal in December 2022, explores how language development and social dynamics create linguistic variations known as slang. On Indonesia, we call as bahasa gaul. Study is grounded in the reality that the millennial generation uses this variation to cement a generational identity or achieve a sense of authority in social circles. To capture this, the authors used a descriptive qualitative method, gathering data through observation and documentation of written communication on platforms like WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And the main goal was to examine the form, function, and the meaning of existing slang. Using the framework of Allen and Burridge, the researchers classified these words into 5 types. First one is fresh and creative, the second one is flippant, imitative, acronyms, and the last one is clipping. So, as English literature students, we find this article particularly relevant because it shows that language isn't just about the grammar, but it's a living, breathing social tool. It highlights how nearly 76% of the young generation now utilizes slang to communication effectively in digital spaces. Now, Abi is going to take us deeper into the specific findings and the methodology used in identify these linguistic trends.
Okay, for the part 2 in the methodology finding, so for first, thanks Iqbal for to get this result, the researcher used a descriptive qualitative method. Like we already explained, they did use statistics instead of they collected written data through documentation and observation on platforms like WhatsApp, Instagram, and YouTube. They specifically look at the abbreviation, acronym, and word fragment. Based on the linguistic theory by Allen and Burridge, they identified 5 distinct types of slang appearance in our daily lives. First, the fresh and creative. These are totally new words like ngap or jamet. And second, flippant. Phrase that create a new meaning such as tipis-tipis or negara berflower. So this basically mean like some kind of irony to the Indonesian right now. And the third type is the imitative, or word already existed but got a new meaning, like the Japanese word ambiar or terjunit. And the fourth one is acronym, like GMIIV, or correct me if I'm wrong, or baper. And the last one is clipping, which is basically shortening word to make them easier to type, like bestie or gangs. The study found that these terms are incredibly dynamic and are becoming standard social language to be nearly 76% of the younger generation today.
So, now let's talk about why this study is so significant for our field. The authors argue that multilingualism is no longer just a skill, but a daily requirement in our society. We see this clearly in the data where English terms like salty or pap, for example, are seamlessly mixed into Indonesian conversations. This reflects a globalized digital identity where English isn't just about foreign language, but a core component of our social vocabulary. And what I find particularly fascinating is how the research highlights the function of this language. Slang serves a social dynamic. It allows us to create a generational identity and even achieve a sense of authority or coolness in contexts where we might otherwise lack it. For example, using the term like netter plus 62 or negara berflower creates an instant insider connection between Indonesian internet users. It proves that language isn't just about the word we choose, but the manner in which we communicate them to ensure we are understood by our peers. So, however, as English literature student conducting a scoping review, we must look at this study with a critical eye. While the findings are creative and diverse, the study has some notable limitations. From the data transparency, while the researchers used observation and documentation, the article doesn't provide a specific data set size. We see excellent examples like Ambiar or Ngap, but we don't know the total volume of comments analyzed to determine which words are truly the most prevalent. The second one is the ally bias. The methodology specifically mentions selecting data categorized as ally language. This is very specific subculture. As scholars, we should wonder, do these same patterns of clipping and acronyms appear in more professional or academic digital spaces? Or is this linguistic creativity strictly reserved for casual peer-to-peer interactions? And the last one is expansion of meaning. The study notes that slang like Ambiar has expanded from its original Japanese roots to become a national experience of sadness. This suggests that social media isn't just about creating new words, but is actively deforming and reforming traditional regional language to fit a digital context. In conclusion, while the study provides a brilliant taxonomy of modern Indonesian slang, it opens up even more questions about the future of our formal grammar, like especially as the deviant form become more widely accepted by nearly 76% of our generation.
So, reflecting on this personally, I realized how much we actually use this term in our environment at UNAIR. For example, the article mentioned how parents find this language difficult to understand. I have definitely experienced that language gap when talking to older familial members. My favorite part of studying was the initiative category, saying how much a Japanese word like Ambiar can become national trend, so how much social media can break regional barriers. So, as an English literature student, this project reminds us that language is a tool for connection, whether it's formal Shakespeare or WhatsApp status using a SCUI. The goal is always to be understood by others. That concludes our review. My name is Abi and my partner
Iqbal.
We hope this analysis gives you a better view of how science is shaping the future communication. Thank you for watching.